Hit it, Ringo.
Welcome to another episode of For the Culture Podcast, soccer podcast for us, by us. We're talking about the intersection of soccer and black culture. You got your host here. You got Grego, Coach Tony, TK on the ones and two. Hey, and for the old school fans, I'm back. It's your boy Ringo. I'm back in the mic. You know what I'm saying?
Clank,
clank, clank. I'm back. Gentlemen, how you been?
Doing well.
I'm just mad that we gotta share a table with your ass again.
Hey, man, you know.
Nah, we missed you, man.
You know,
seriously.
hey, the coach let me go. You know, he sent me on loan, but you know,
he
realized
to bring you back.
Yeah, he realized I brought value.
You
to
need
the
to
squad.
mature a little bit.
That's it, man.
We had to make sure you mature in the game a little bit.
They sent me to go play in Bosnia. You know, I picked up smoking. So if y'all hear the voice, you know.
So was there racism over there too?
I mean, come on, racism is like apple pie in Eastern Europe, man. So you know I had to go through some stuff.
You got some banana peels and everything.
But it made me a better player. It made me
right.
appreciate the shield. You know what I mean? Of FTC UTD.
That's good to hear, man. Yeah. Well, we're glad to have you back, man.
Thanks, man. I'm glad to be back.
Man.
See? Sorry I started.
I appreciate you, Coach Chris. I appreciate you.
She did. She said, you need to go.
Man, I'm tired of sharing this couch with you, man.
That's it. She got tired of looking at me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, while you were gone, did you pull up through any draft picks cribs or anything? Like, did you just say, hey, welcome to MLS. Say, hey, glad you're here. Here's a T-shirt.
You know, I took some boys out. You know, they live in Nashville. You know, my boys. You know, but we enjoyed it. You know, we ate some caviar.
That's some stalkerish shit.
You know,
it's very creepy ass.
Y'all didn't see me. I was in the background, man.
Oh, I counted.
Yes,
stalker
wasn't many
shit.
of us out there.
Yeah, not too many brothers showing up to that one. Nashville.
Like, hold up. These two over here, they can't come in here.
So what's their season ticket count now? 52.
I hope.
Yo, and they had a dynamite kit drop too.
No, it hasn't happened. That's next Monday, I think. So by the time we record next week, we should have it.
I thought we had a yellow one.
No, they had a leak, but they didn't actually do the actual
wasn't
event.
official?
They do the actual event.
Yeah, okay.
And all the bells and whistles.
So, we saw it all on the mannequins, man. This shit's real. That boring ass jersey. So
I think
anyway,
they did sell like 2,500 tickets.
2,500.
I think that might be the official number. Actually, it might be 5. I was trying to not give them credit, but they didn't call me
They're gonna be
out.
selling like a lot of youth packages, man, for the teams.
You got the multi-pack?
Yeah, the multi-pack. You know it's hard when you gotta do the multi-pack.
Multi-pass.
It's like how the Hawks be like, see LeBron James, Kawhi Leonard.
see Joseph Martinez in the Atlanta United go against the Nashville.
But
the Nashville.
I think there's just the Nashville FCers.
SC.
Oh, they're SC.
I think they're
respect.
Inter SC Sporting Soccer Club
of Nashville. 1922.
But
they got all the leagues.
United. We forgot the United.
Yeah, you gotta have United. I mean, come on. But Nashville SC, they went out and brought their team out, well, their supporters out. Actually, they actually have a lot of supporter groups. Now that I've actually connected with most of them, there's like 4 or 5 of them. Like it's kind of crazy. But they put up on their first draft pick, Jack Howard out of Indiana. So they went from Nashville to, I guess, somewhere up in Indiana, wherever he lived. Like that's a
haul.
Yeah,
you gotta respect it.
Yeah, the hustle's real. Like at the same time, there was one thing that I did notice when of course they had the video up. It's a nice ass neighborhood, man.
Are you surprised?
That's
I don't know why you.
That neighborhood scream pay to play.
Are you surprised?
Like we paid a whole lot to play.
But it's funny that like with this last week, Clemson is making headlines. The number 1 pick comes from Clemson and Robbie Robinson to enter Miami, and then Clemson obviously was in the national championship game.
Got smoked though.
They got smoked, but the basketball team made up for it and they beat Duke tonight. So
and for the first time ever, they won in Chapel Hill. Like ever.
Yeah.
Ever.
I mean, that's a sorry ass Chapel Hill team, though. I mean,
it is. It's not looking good there either.
Yeah. But anyway, Clemson is making moves. They got the number 1 pick in Robbie Robinson. Jack Meyer with making moves, and then Dylan Nealis from Georgetown. Georgetown got like half their whole team selected in the.
So your boy went down to Orlando.
Yeah, man. Daryl DK from Virginia, UVA, the brother, looking like a what's his name, Zion. Looking like Zion was on the soccer pitch.
I heard he's on the mend, actually, Zion.
He is.
Yeah, he's pretty close to coming back.
Yeah.
He's pretty close, man. But
I don't know, bro. I saw pictures of Zion the other day. He looked bigger.
when you were hurt like that, all you could really do was just work out. So it's like, yeah,
I ain't talking about swole. Bro.
I knew he was talking about that.
Hey, you're like even chilling at Sizzlers in New Orleans.
I had too many double stuffs.
Too much shrimp etouffee out there.
That was him when he first got drafted. Like when I saw like a video of him like last week. It was like, oh, the arms are they more cut now. I'm like, yeah, like he pretty close to looking ready.
Nike slides is a big.
I saw that too. He had the PSG kit thing on.
Yeah.
I saw a little bit of a Dunlap.
Yeah.
His belly Dunlapped over the.
You know, it didn't even hit me that PSG hadn't really put out their Jordan jersey yet, and I was like, oh yeah, it's about that time. It's like, yeah.
Oh, I guess because they had the old school Nike.
Yeah.
They haven't done the Jordan drip yet.
Oh no, that's right. They did the infrared one, but they got another one coming out for the knockout stage for the Champions League. So yeah, there's another one coming out there for soon. But yeah, I didn't realize that the draft, I guess, went like for like a week. Like
It's like baseball.
It's
man.
like a Chris Brown album, man. It just goes the whole
Drop
month of January.
tracks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The whole month of January, the MLS draft is, man. So when it's over, that's when spring starts, man.
I didn't realize how many teams passed
Yeah.
on picks.
There's-
Which, we were talking about before. It makes sense. But it's crazy that, like, probably a third of these
Did anyone
pass.
renege like in spades said no? We don't want
I think
this
they
one
had 3 in a possible. They were like, yeah, we got 3 in a possible.
Change your mind.
back. No reneging.
Yeah.
But there's no need, man. You know why?
Why?
Because, man, so many international players come to MLS. MLS is hot now. Chicharito. I don't want to change. He just announced an hour ago. He's on a flight right now. As we speak, he's flying over Atlanta.
Let's hop on that real quick because that's something
right, here we go.
that's honestly huge for the league because I mean you have basically the biggest Mexican star in the world and
Craig.
world, son. but yeah, and like of course he's basically replacing Zlatan, and you basically have the two
Totally
biggest.
different style of game.
True.
Totally different style of game.
But hey, it ain't about that. It's about just what you bring into the gate, and it's one of those things where, like, I think just for the popularity of the game in LA, obviously, if it's MLS, like that's huge. Because, like I said, you got the two biggest Mexican stars in the two LA teams.
So let me really get at what we're also talking about too. Because we know what the formula of MLS has been always, because we'll get, stars in the twilight of their careers. Chicharito's 31 years old.
They've been chasing for a long time.
Twilight, but
He's up there.
he's not prime.
Yeah, I mean, like they've been trying to get him for like the last 2-3 years, and he was like, nah.
He went to Bayern Leverkusen and all that. Yeah, Sevilla.
But let the dream live.
Oh, snap.
I wish I knew how to say that. I mean, he was.
That was a good movie, man.
You're
Gold.
right.
Gold, man. I cried in that movie, man.
It was a good
He
movie.
does come with like Santiago.
Santi. You know, Nick Cannon in that piece. Y'all saw Goal 2, right?
Yo,
Goal 2 sucked.
It was Nick Cannon in that
Goal
piece.
2 was Adidas and her Real
was
Madrid
really the worst.
commercial.
Yeah, it was a love
And,
fest.
but the worst part is, did you ever see 3?
Yes, I saw 3. I had to, man.
I didn't know there was a 3.
Oh my god, that
Maybe
one.
we should watch this as a pod. and
Where was
do a
I?
review.
And see our reactions. Like,
Yo.
have a camera just on
Yeah,
our reactions.
I'll put it like this:
I'm in for the live
there was so little soccer played in Goal 3 that it's just embarrassing. And like I want to say, like Santiago's like a cameo at that basically at that point.
Because I think it came like straight to like some streaming platforms. I think I want to say.
yeah, it was like straight to
Straight to
video,
DVD.
Yeah,
Straight to DVD in 2009. Man, I missed that.
10 years ago. Damn, it's been
yeah.
Damn, we should have a ceremony for that, man.
Any followers, if you own a copy of Goal 3, send us a picture of you holding the disc, and I will buy you whatever you want
Time out.
from this team store. Host can't do it. If you own this DVD,
Oh my god!
hey, if listeners, Coach Shoney just ran to his room. If he comes
Like
out with a
ran.
copy of this,
But no, I think that Chicharito going into the Galaxy. That's,
Damn. It's gold, too.
Told you, man, God. No one owns this movie, man.
Culture, this just happened.
It's gold, too.
Tony just brought it out. Gold too.
He owns it. And he has the platinum edition.
It's on DVD,
Man,
though.
this is like enhanced DVD.
He got the Blu-ray
At
version.
least in 720.
He got Blu-ray before Blu-ray was out.
Wait, it's Blu-ray?
He got Blu-ray.
Oh, snap.
wow, that's crazy.
That-
I told you, man, I love that movie. I was like, you understand? Rudy is my like biography, and this was like the second coming of that shit. Like
my God.
the come up, man.
But back on topic about Chicharito.
Oh yeah, that.
I think it's huge. A tip of the hat to the LA Galaxy that they continue
and
to get these stars that bring eyes to MLS.
Yeah, I wonder
Can you
how
say
they
that
do
again,
that.
Ringo? That was quite a statement.
But no, I think that especially when you have so many Brown fans that were going over to LAFC, it's like, okay, hold up. The Galaxy said, "Hey, we got to get some of this Brown love too."
I was like, what? You said
That's
Brown
a great
fans?
point, though.
So they got Chicharito because they felt like LAFC was getting the Mexican vote.
Oh yeah,
You think
shit.
it's Villa versus Chicharito, essentially?
exactly.
But
Well, I
It will
mean,
make them better. I mean, because there's an El Trafico, like 6 of them in the season. So
feels like
MLS loved the El Trafico last year. Man.
Yeah.
and they performed up to
All right,
no, they were great.
so let's say it. LA Galaxy are going to go to the MLS final.
I won't go that far.
Oh,
I won't go that far.
okay.
I'll
In
say,
Miami, though.
I tell you who won't be there:
The LA Galaxy,
the home team.
Philly?
The home team.
like the home for America, like DC,
The home team. Where the F do we live right now?
Atlanta.
No faith in FTB.
You say they won't be in the final?
Right.
It's got no faith in FTB.
You
no.
know why? Because we'll be too busy in the CONCACAF Champions League. CONCACAF.
Don't do us.
How many
we could jump
letters and vowels do we have in this?
Yeah, it's fine, man. We got one of the best anthems in the world, man. I'm
Hum
back.
it.
Sing it.
Hum it.
Sing it.
Power Football United.
Sing it.
This is great.
C.
Hum it.
I want my C. I got your C. I got my O. Oh, I got your
Where did that come from?
He bringing it on right now.
I know, right?
Bring it on over here. Go
Hey,
do the
Starting
CONCACAF.
to come back in the form.
Listen, I'm gonna find out how to put the CONCACAF and the European Champions League final side by side, and we're gonna listen, and we're gonna make some video of this, man.
But you know what?
We're gonna judge it.
No,
We're gonna do a real
not
judge.
really.
I remember the CONCACAF one is boring, but the MLS one is actually really nice.
Sing it.
There's no.
There are no words to any of these
Hum
anthems.
No.
It is. That is MLS.
Dude, they ain't nothing but Howard's band playing at halftime.
Wow.
Sounds like
But
MLS
no.
did a good job.
Talking outside of your neck. What?
So, you know what? I'm charging LSU with cultural appropriation for playing neck.
Oh, they did it?
Yeah.
They did Tiger?
Oh, they did, yeah. They played neck.
Oh, I love that.
No.
They did it in the Benz?
No.
Yeah.
Man, I missed that.
Yeah.
Culture got appropriated.
I'm sure we could pull up a YouTube video.
Oh, we're all over the place. We're all
But
over
no, yeah, the home team right now, it's a whole lot going on. We lost LGP. They finally confirmed the transfer to Tijuana, even though they tried to say the night before. It's like,
No, he kind of clapped back, though.
I don't know what y'all talking about.
He kind of clapped back.
I don't know. I think that was him scapegoating. He was like, nah, it ain't going to be me. He was staging.
But no, see, that's the thing about, because certain teams try to be real secretive about their moves, but it's like, hey, we got the internet here. We can see shit.
We see everything. It's a global game, yeah.
And because what LGP tried to say was that one, he ain't talked to nobody since the season ended, and that he didn't ask to leave.
Yeah.
So
He just said he was in Tijuana, said he needed to train, and just went to go train with him.
yeah, of course that kind of sounded a little like,
Yeah, a little sketch.
yeah. It's like wasn't going to
Why
Orlando.
was you down there already, bro?
Bruh, that's not.
Yeah.
They have
You know how he
pictures at
feels?
the airport with him and his family. Come on now. I was just in Tijuana.
Bro, we got
come on.
fields over here at West End, bro. We don't need to go that far. So we can train at West End.
It was raining in Atlanta.
But no,
It was planned. It was
Yeah.
greater things in motion.
Now, I actually do believe that he didn't ask to leave. I do think that,
So it's a power move by him.
See, that's the thing I keep wrestling with because, you saw last year what happened with FDB and Pity Martinez, where, you had that kind of, tug of war, and when the board was like, okay, you're not hitting on nothing, he benched him. He didn't do that with Perez. He said, hey.
Because he had nobody else.
I mean, you could have wheeled out Parkey or had Pogba, fill in, but you was like, hey, if nothing else, I still got to play you. So I think that says a whole lot as far as he was able to at least see past whatever beef that was there. But of course, once the season ended, it was like, hey, y'all gone.
Never mind. I mean, I kind of made that kind of thinking that there's probably we were going towards away from the South American, Central America focus, but yet we did replace with.
We got a Mexican. We got Fernando Meza. From
I think
the
the end is
Casa.
near, though. I think the end is near. 2 seasons and we're done.
Yeah, I agree.
It'll be looking like real Aberdeen-y.
So do you think that Frank's going to go more European players, or he's going to pull the Ajax and develop?
He's comfortable with.
If he is,
why not develop our academy that
I think
keeps winning these
actually,
awards?
that's what I think. I think he's going to go with the academy a lot more.
But I think if he's still here in 2 years, in 2022, Frank de Boer is still here, like going into 2023 more, I think that the team will more or less look like a European team.
So
I think there may be some starlets from the academy.
So that means you play players from the academy. Did that happen this season?
Not really.
Oh,
Not really.
One guy supposedly got moved up, but
Maybe
like twice.
Not really.
But there's not much.
I'm just curious.
Because even like the one guy
the
that did,
homegrowns didn't get love.
because the one guy that did, he's on his way over to Indy, over to see Ringo's cousins and everything.
It's good for him. That's a good move for him. But before we talk about him, I want to talk about the youth players at Atlanta United.
My youth.
The youth. The lack of transfers is a good sign that Frank may have some ideas for some youth. Because it's like we got rid of Nagby's gone. Who replaces Nagby in the middle?
Officially, nobody as of yet. We got Hyman.
Yes, but Hyman's no Nagby.
Hyman more.
Wait, nobody's Nagby. I mean,
Right, but
that's
I'm
the
saying, so Hyman. LGP got replaced by Meza. Who else left? Parkhurst retired. So we signed that. We got the Brendan Fraser guy.
Brooks Lennon.
Brooks Lennon.
You're like some kind of name. Brandon.
Yeah. So he replaces Parkhurst. Then you got rid of who else left?
Merrim's gone. Shea's gone.
That's some bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Merrim's leaving, but Merrim we brought in. There's anybody we could bring in.
Well, you also said you got Lagos coming back from
Lagos is coming back
from loan.
They've already talked about Bello's going to be a crucial player.
He's fully healthy now, right?
Yeah, he's fully healthy. He's been in training.
It's still swollen.
And then our boy Wilkes, Antoine.
Anton came back.
He's back.
He needed a good barber again. He said, "Hey, send me back to Atlanta."
So then you have.
So that's a replacement for.
So imagine having Bello and Antoine overlapping on that left. You have Gressel in. I don't know who. I guess Gressel wouldn't have to overlap. You have somebody sit back.
I think you put Gressel behind him and then put him a little higher.
I think Gressel goes to the midfield.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
that'd be a nice look.
Yeah, because Brooks is supposed to be able to play both on sides.
Because between Lennon,
his fullback,
Walks, Bello, and your boy Edgar Castillo, he's here on working out on the trial because he plays left back.
Yeah,
I'm gonna call him New Breck.
New Breck Castillo.
Yes.
Castillo's still young. Castillo's 29.
No, he's 33.
So we're staying with 3 in the back or 4 in the back?
4 in the back. We're going 4 in the back.
Oh.
4 in the back. That's how we play.
4 in the back.
We still have the personnel to do 3 in the back, but
we
same time, I'm not sure.
I don't know.
I think that when you lose 2 guys like LGP and Parkey, I'm not sure if they'll have the stability to do 3. That's my thinking there.
Or there's someone actually in the team who can command the back line
So you put
to risk doing 3.
you put Brennan, Miles, and Escobar. That's only 3 I trust.
You put now. They're saying that Meza is definitely good enough to replace LGP.
They're
Okay.
Everything I'm reading is like he's a ball playing center half.
So
True ball
then
playing.
that's
Like he's
4.
playing. He's dropping dimes on Joseph's head.
Miles' name's in pen. You know Escobar's name's in pen.
Right. If he's healthy, yeah.
So that leaves you with so we have to do 4. You couldn't just have unless
Unless
Brennan
plays a holding.
I think because of the lack of chemistry that they're probably going to have, especially depending on how quickly Meza and Miles click, I think that more than likely it's probably going to be 4. Now, if that chemistry improves quickly, then they might be
then Escobar can push up.
Yeah. Actually,
I would like
Escobar's his natural position is a center back, so really he could play back there
if
on
we
that
play
back
a 3-back, but
Yeah.
I still don't think we have the depth for the 3-back on top of what I said.
Now that's the problem. That's the key thing
I
right
would
there.
like
Is that
Escobar
center
as like an 8 man, just right there, just a little in the midfield.
so basically, you want him to do the Larry position.
I want him to be a young, fast, physical Larry.
Okay.
That's what I would love
could
for
do that.
Escobar.
Yeah.
Because then that keeps Escobar on the field. That brings Bello. That gets Bello on the field. That brings
And that conserves
Meza,
Larry.
Conserves Larry. You got Meza. You got Miles. And you
Still
got.
got Rometty
Nobody's brought Rometty.
I don't know where Rometty fits in this program.
because he kind of fell up at the end of last year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Wild tactics.
Maybe Rometty, he goes to like
He's a new
a
LG.
rotation player.
Possibly.
I think he's already a rotation player.
Isn't
Does
he?
Tito start now?
Oh man, I forgot.
You
Tito
need-
was still on the
yeah,
team.
Tito's
Tito
a
starts
survivor.
now. We have to start him.
I think so.
Why?
If we don't, then we should have sold him.
Why does he have to
No,
start?
no, because you still need depth.
Who's?
I mean, I
who's
guess,
the
but
tenth?
like, if we lose Joseph,
Both
he's not a
Martinez's,
replacement.
Okay.
Barco, Gressel, this new guy, John, my John.
Y'all be doing my boy Tito wrong, man.
Tito trash, man.
He is not
Yo,
trash.
so do you guys hold
He's
on?
not trash, but he
Guys,
needs minutes.
okay.
because he's never like in form off
Hey,
the bench.
did
He's
you
not an
guys
impact player.
remember this like American classic movie, Mighty Ducks 2? You guys remember that when they had
No,
to
but I
get?
do remember
Are you saying
goal
he's-
too.
Are you saying he's Mendoza?
He's Mendoza.
I remember-
You guys. Okay, so
I remember goal too.
No,
I think I'm on DVD.
Mighty Duck 2 was like Goal 2, but for hockey. So there was this Latin
The
kid.
Iceland team.
For these young kids who don't know what this movie is, it was a Disney movie. There was this Latin kid.
We got young listeners.
He was he was fast. He was really fast. But the thing was, he didn't know how.
They might have watched it by now.
The youth. But he couldn't stop, and that's Tito to me. That's Tito to me,
That
man.
was on Tony.
He's
for sure.
Mendoza.
Oh God, that's
I'm glad
hilarious.
you got that reference, man.
Yeah, no. He
Let's
called
go
it.
check
That
that
was like
house.
that might. No, wait. Was it the best Mighty Ducks? 2?
Yes,
Two
yes.
was
2 might have been the best one.
3 sucked.
3 was.
Which one had Keenan in it?
2.
2.
2. Yeah, that's the
I
best
mean, he was
The
in 3.
knuckle
Knuckle puck.
He was in
Knuckle
3,
puck,
but
baby.
yeah, the one that he came in on 2.
He was supposed to be the hood boy playing hockey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shit, that's what made me want to play hockey. Man, I was out in the street.
I was
Yeah,
rollerblading too.
Yeah, man.
Me too.
I had a
roller skating.
no.
on hockey. Not
You ever heard of this movie called Airborne?
Nah.
Okay,
No.
yeah. See,
I remember Brink.
Brink was fantastic.
Brink
man.
was
That
amazing.
great.
But yeah,
Yeah, that
but
rocket
between-
power was.
between that movie and Mighty Ducks 2,
Trying to
yeah,
stop
I had to give me a pair of rollerblades.
Yeah.
Like, I think everybody had to, but
So
but-
wait, is
but,
everyone rollerblades at the table? No,
Yeah.
no one was roller skates.
Well,
I mean, when you go to the skating
yes,
rink,
exactly.
when
No,
I went
no.
to Sparkles, like it was
I didn't roll
skates.
bounce. I
But
didn't
in
roll
the
bounce.
streets, I was
Can you
on the
skate
blades.
backwards?
Hell
No.
yeah. I can
What?
skate backwards.
That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. That's what I'm talking about,
You
baby.
skate, all right, yeah, I can
skate
skate
backwards.
backwards.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
that's
Here we
I
go.
was too
a
clumsy
little
for that.
disappointed. A little disappointed.
I'm-
and,
from
and,
wrestling, too?
and you have inlines? Yeah, come on, it's easy.
Come on, man.
I'm trying to be like Brink.
I was clumsy back then, man. Don't
Was?
hold it.
You were trying to hit the rails?
Was?
See,
You was
Was?
fighting in a skating ring. You was one of them guys.
He was like,
no.
fuck this shit, man.
I
Got
was
everybody tear gas.
It was the precursor to that for the culture.
I was fast going forward. That's all I needed. I was fast going forward.
Oh,
but no.
you're crashing into the wall.
Wait, stop. I can't 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 stop.
Like I remember that kid.
But no, you want to hear?
Tito.
See what you did there. I see
Full
what you did
circle.
there.
Full
I see
But
what
yo,
did
you want to know something crazy though? You know who's on trial in L.A.?
Who?
Bradley Wright Phillips.
BWP?
Tell us more.
Like
Galaxy or FC?
LAFC.
That's a good look.
It is
Bradley
good
Wright
look for him.
Phillips, he knows how to
More
score.
power to him.
Knows how to score. That relieves Vela, right? Because it's like 'cause now you have two attacking threats up top.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Everybody won't triple team Vela.
So you got old boy, what's the name?
Big move.
Diamante.
Yeah, Diamante has been a hell of a threat
I
last
say,
season.
is he coming back? I know like he had some issues like back at the end of last season.
Shit, I'll take Diamante.
I'll take him any
Yeah,
man.
any day.
Seriously.
Shit.
See, it's not Tata
He's
anymore.
an
So like,
MLS Lukaku.
Yeah.
damn.
Yeah. Every team. Shit.
That's-
Am I wrong?
I like it.
No, that's already his career.
That's Jozy. No,
Please.
number one
Jozy
American player.
Jozy got to play a half a season. before
Number one American
Yeah,
player
he's
in
healthy.
MLS.
Man, but it was MLS's ranking though.
Yeah.
Give me sports like SB Nation's rank, and then give me Bleacher Report's rank.
Yeah, they only juggle those up.
Yeah, Jozy, Mr. Glass.
Because like here's that list. Because this came out actually earlier Tuesday. Number one was Jozy. Number two was Jordan Morris. Number three, Aaron Long. Number four, Ike Opera. Number five is Nagby.
Bro, I was so hurt when I saw Columbus Crew next to his name. I was like, oh,
Bitch.
yeah.
No, I saw a replay of a goal that he had last season. I was like, this bitch is gone. Like, what the hell?
And prediction time. I think Nagby's going to score more goals in Columbus
just
this
about to
year
say it.
than
I
the
was
2
just
years he
about to
played
say
in
it.
Atlanta United.
I think he's going to have a record, at least like double digits.
It's going to piss us off.
Yes. He's going to make us angry as shit. I know it. I already know it. It's
Man,
not even,
I'm
like,
just at home.
I already set myself up. I'm like, man, this motherfucker.
My
But
cousins, they just walk
but you
across
wanna-
the yard. It's nice.
But you want to know what's crazy about this top 10 list? Only about half of these guys are even called up by the national team.
Walker Zimmerman is last, right?
No, Matt Turner, goalkeeper out of New England.
But Walker Zimmerman's on it, though.
Yeah.
Zimmerman is
He's number
9.
9. He's number 9.
Stephen Fry's 8.
Walker Zimmerman is Georgia.
I didn't realize Stephen Fry was American.
I didn't either.
Yeah.
I didn't
mean,
either.
he's German anyway. You know.
Yeah.
He claimed
Alejandro
America.
Bedoya
There's a difference.
is at
Claimed
6.
America.
He is 7.
Oh, 7.
My boy Miles is at 6.
Yeah.
Yo,
What,
props
one year.
to Miles, though.
1 year.
1 year.
Props to Miles on that shit. Like, seriously, like,
Starlet.
even though I pissed and shit on that list at first, but then Miles making that list,
Did he get Rookie of the Year?
no.
No,
Not his rookie. His
because he
rookie
wasn't
year,
a
he
rookie.
didn't play.
Because he wasn't a rookie.
Well, what about, could he have gotten comeback
He
player
got
of the
best
year?
young player of the year.
Well, no,
Yeah, young.
he didn't finish second in defender of the year last year.
Yeah, defender, yeah. Yeah, I mean, like, to see him on that list midway through,
Yeah.
that's, I mean, props to him, man.
We got.
I told y'all, I said it a couple episodes ago. That's our future captain.
If he stays long enough, yeah.
I think he stays.
For
No.
the United States?
Oh,
or
he-
No, for Atlanta.
Oh no, he's going. He's going to get double digits going to Europe. Like I would say, I'd be shocked if he's still here next year.
Miles won't stay up in Magic City, man. He want to go to Follies.
Interesting stat about Jozy Altidore that you can't disrupt, man. Jozy, he's offense's efficiency. He scores .90 goals plus assists per 90 minutes. So every game he's either
involved. He's
scoring
involved.
or assisting. That's
Culture over
involved.
stats, man. Culture over stats.
Hey man, culture over stats.
T-shirt.
Hey, I
Check
know.
on my Shopify.
So you know what's wrong with this list to me is that Jordan Morris is number 2. Personally,
Yeah.
I think that's politics there because
No.
Jordan
Yeah,
Morris is
No.
the
Last year he bounced back in a big way.
most improved player last year.
Yeah.
But for him to get number 2
two.
player
Yeah.
in
True, Grego.
American players,
Well, I'll say this
bullshit.
much: if
Miles should have been 2.
using that logic, I would say he's politics. Aaron Long's politics. Because Ike Opera's been that dude for a long time.
How many shutouts did Brad Guzan have last season? He ain't on the list. He American. Come on, this list is bullshit. MLS.
Where's
Come on, Weeby.
that other keeper that was pretty decent before him?
Pyramid.
Bill.
Get Bill on that list, man.
Yeah. Come on, man. It's
Sean John.
Come on, politics over sport, man. It's bull.
Oh, speaking of is it time for us to go to a break? Because there's one thing that pissed me off this past weekend.
Yeah,
Are we dropping bombs over Baghdad? What we doing now?
No, the Olympics, man.
Oh, I thought you were talking about.
Guys, no, you can't have like cultural movements at the Olympics in 2020.
What is this?
See, this is why we didn't let Ringo back in.
Guys, you can't.
We had a secret clubhouse meeting.
No,
Ringo.
you can't. The world is entirely too global. See, back in when...
Oh, God, here we go.
Here we go. All right, here we go.
How did I let him into
Sad
my
geek.
house? Did you not see all these pictures when you walked in?
Yes. Iconic. But during that time, news was traveled through newspaper. So people didn't have that spur-of-the-moment reaction like they do today. Like today, someone can see, like people are getting upset about cartoon comic strips in France and they attacking them embassy and stuff like that. We can't do that in this day and age. And that's why the Olympics said no, there will be no political statements during the Olympics. Come on, let's be realistic. People act off of emotions nowadays.
What did I say on Twitter? Shut up and metal.
When did we have Stephen A on our podcast?
Oh.
I didn't know we had Stephen
Right
A
in
on
the
our
jejunum,
podcast.
man.
I appreciate that because I aspire to be Stephen A. Smith.
I didn't
Most
know we had
hardest working
Stephen A.
man
on
on
the
ESPN, man. You better respect Stephen A. Smith, brother. Okay? But no, seriously, man. So you guys
Call in, Stephen.
look how. You know what? I like that Donovan guy. You know, the rest of y'all don't know soccer.
They lay off the weed.
The weed.
But seriously, let's bring it to the table, man.
Please. I would love to discuss this.
Let's discuss it. What benefit does a political statement make in the World Cup? I mean, in the World Cup in 2021.
World Cup or Olympics?
I mean, Olympics. I'm sorry. Either or.
We'll answer that just after this ad break.
Damn.
Shit was like radio.
Can you rephrase that question, please?
All right. So, and we're back. So I asked the question before the break.
Nice transition.
I asked the question before the break. What benefit does a political statement make in 2021 in Tokyo in the World Cup? I mean,
Olympics.
in the Olympics. But even in the World Cup the World Cup's in 2021 as well, right? 2020. So either or, 2021, 2022. What does a political statement make in this day and age in the world of Twitter?
This new decade.
It's always about the platform that you have, because obviously you have a lot of eyes on you, and if there is something going on, whether it's just in generally speaking, like, you know, race, or if it's something that's going on in your particular country, you know, you're able to draw a bigger audience than you would have if you were just doing a protest at your cue. Be like, hey, I'm gonna just, you know, I'm gonna stand up at my desk and protest of equal rights. Like, nobody's gonna see you.
We'll put a pin in your statement. I have a comment back. Go ahead. What's yours? Let me see
So
if I can
what is the purpose of these international events at the end of the day?
to represent your country.
Okay.
Sport.
Right.
In
a
sport.
sporting manner.
Okay.
So you represent your country.
Uh-huh.
So these people are embodying what's going on in their country as well too. They represent maybe the pathway to represent their country. So when you're talking about these people who have a platform to express themselves of what's going on currently in their country, they are representing their country. That voice should be heard. No matter if it's a minute part or just a minority or a majority aspect of the country. Sorry, we had to pause because I thought someone was creeping in my window. You know what I'm saying?
Who's that creeping in my window? Ow.
Saying,
Nobody
y'all about to see
now.
a different Coach Tony come out.
Eastside told you about to come
No,
out.
but I think that, you know, it's the fact that we get so built on so much of, like, you know, yes, sport is used to escape what's going on in our cultural, family, whatever things. It's used to that. Mm-hmm. But we cannot ignore the fact that there are major things that impact huge masses. Mm-hmm. And so when you use sport to maybe make a political statement, why not? I have no problem with that.
TK, you got thoughts?
I mean,
I have a opinion on that one too.
this circles all the way back to just very recently here in the United States, Colin Kaepernick. But I mean, if you go back in history, it's kind of always been a thing, using sports as an avenue to make a political stance in some way, shape, or form.
So let me ask you this: last night we watched the national championship game. What did they do before the game?
This hurts.
What did they do before the game?
I know 45 pulled out.
45 pulled out, and they put a huge flag on. Do you know they're not mandated to do that? That is a paid line item. So
You talking about the flags and the national
All
anthem
that
and sporting
stuff.
games? Yeah,
Right.
It's not.
what is that for?
Patriotism.
Right. Okay, and that's to incite.
I don't think it's a political statement.
How is that not?
Because it's the United States.
You're saying we are a country, we're proud of who we are, and we're better than someone. So, yeah.
Yeah. All right, let me go back.
So if you have something that says, I want to represent a part of my country, and I disagree with my country, and I might want to do something to express that, why not?
Yeah. So let me give the counters. You guys were kind of the same with the platform situation. So the difference between now and the past, people couldn't just pull up their phone and go live and reach millions of people at the same time.
That actually amplifies the platform even more.
Right. So what I'm saying, so they have the platform already. They don't need to do a political statement on the podium and things like that at the Olympics.
Well, if you're North Korea.
No, but see, even with no. So the North Korea, right? What you said, your thing was you represent their country.
No, I was just saying that.
No, but I'm saying, but that's a good example. You represent your country. Most of the time, your country is sponsoring for you to be there. So just like with your job, so you may disagree with what your job does, but you're not going to go to like a conference like, "Yo, fuck my job, and this is my opinion. This is how I feel." It just doesn't work that way. So in this day and age, it's like the Olympics. It's no longer the time for that.
No,
because it's a security risk now.
But keep in mind,
whoa. Let me get this.
It's a security risk.
No, I disagree with that because at the same time, especially no matter if you're talking about 1960s or 2020, a lot of times people who are making these actions. A lot of times they're doing these actions because they love their country that much. They're not saying I effing hate my country that much. I disagree with where the path of my country is going, and it needs to make a change because I love my country that much. It's not a matter of I'm going to shit on my country. It's a matter of my country can do better. So there's a difference in that. Because the same thing if you go on your job and you say, oh, yo, I hate such and such. No, you're not doing it. You're saying my country or my company can do better. I love it so much. This is what we need to do.
Why you gotta do it on foreign soil?
Why does it matter if it's on foreign soil? Because you need to get more. Just like the civil rights movement, it needed allies. Just like slavery, it needed allies.
Apartheid, same thing. I think that just like how you say, you are technically working for X country or whatever, but at the same time, with a lot of those people, they're taking that risk anyway because they know that, hey, there might be some repercussions for taking the stand, but they know that, hey, this cause, this protest is worth that backlash. And I think that, if you're not about that life and you just say, hey, I'm going to just go ahead, walk the line, that's more power to you. But at the same time, if you feel that strongly about what you say and you know that it needs to be spoken out, you should.
My thing about them saying don't do it is going to make people want to do it even more.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
It's going to be like the Oscars situation where Ricky Gervais had the huge monologue shitting on Hollywood and all that.
That shit was funny as hell.
It's like, do you really need it? You're here. They paid you to be here. And, pat on your back. You get some likes on Twitter.
I think that...
Who gives a fuck? What's going to change?
I think that, speaking of that specifically... You have to have somebody that kind of points out the hypocrisy that goes on in Hollywood, and you can say the same thing about Hollywood, government, anything, sports, and so you always need to have that voice out there. Now, whether or not how loud it gets, that can be debated, but I think that you have to have that voice of dissent. That voice of dissent is always valuable as long as it's as long as it's based in actual fact and not just stupid ass opinion. Because a lot of people out here, especially these days, they'll just, try to treat opinion as fact and end up twisting shit a whole lot worse than what it's supposed to be. But that whole thing, it's unfortunate. I know, Rapinoe was like, hey, you ain't stopping us. So I said, I would love to see her still try it and see what happens. So, we'll see how that goes there. What else? Can we beat Liverpool this weekend, man? Please.
So anyway, Barcelona has a new coach.
See now. Last time we did that, we won. So keep that in mind.
Barcelona has a new coach. I don't know if you knew that.
They got done. Valverde got done dirty.
Oh, he didn't.
No, because you won 2 straight La Ligas. You won your group stage in Champions League. You're in the like all these consider like you're moving forward now. Granted, you haven't won Champions League in a minute,
and
I know
that's why he got fired.
But
Barcelona's bigger than La Liga.
But that's something that
Real Madrid is bigger than La Liga.
You're still in it to win it this year, and unless you just know that this guy's not going to work, like you still have a chance to wear one. There's nothing that could have happened this year that would have changed what's going to happen in the Champions League.
They're a bigger brand. As you see that Barcelona, they're not attracting the players that they wanted.
They struck it on Neymar,
Yeah.
but that's more so on just the club itself. Like especially like with their, I think they're about to have like elections for their club president, and that might cause him to get out. And I think he's trying to do this as a chance to save face. But
100%. But like I said, those big clubs like that. I mean, the domestic trophy doesn't mean much to them. So if you can't make deep runs in the Champions League or even win the Champions League, there's so many other coaches that would die to coach here. Move on to the next guy.
And that was the interesting thing there is that kind of like they reached out to Jozy, their old player, because he had been out in the Middle East playing out in Qatar, and they would say, "Hey, could you come?" He was like, "Nah, I'm not doing. I don't want to do anything until the summer." Which all these said, I'm like, I completely get that.
This is why I love this game so much. You can be in first place in your league
and get fired.
Like, think about that.
Because it's more than just your league.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. Like
global brands.
Think about that. If that were to happen right now in any U.S. sport.
Yeah.
Did they lose a game?
Yeah. They lost 3.
They have lost, but they're still
4-3.
Because right now everything in La Liga is
Real with 40 points,
and that's another one. It's like you remember they were talking about firing on Zidane. It's like, yeah, you're in first place.
They're tied for first with 40 points. Barcelona has the edge on goal differential. Like 2.
Okay. Yeah.
Like 2.
But I think that.
So you guys follow La Liga?
I keep
used to.
I don't understand the different championships they have within the
like Copa del Rey.
Yeah, so Real Madrid just won a trophy.
So they won a Super Cup.
What is that? What's the Super Cup?
So that's basically
they changed it too.
Is that their FA Cup?
No, that's like their Community Shield.
Yeah.
Community Shield. So that's the winner of last season versus the winner of this season.
They changed it up because like it used to be like the La Liga and the Copa del Rey champ, but I think that they expanded it to like 4 teams this year, and they moved it out to Saudi Arabia. So
they changed it literally this year.
Gotcha. Yeah, and so
sorry, my ignorance. I know nothing about.
Oh no, trust
Spanish
me.
league,
like I said,
we're used to your ignorance, but continue.
But no, it changed.
I missed you, Ringo. It's been a while, man.
Man, I ain't coming back.
But no,
it's not a counterculture podcast.
But no, it changed up a whole lot this year, and because like it was Real, Barca, Atletico, and I forgot the 4th team.
Also, it's like a 4-team
playoff. Typically, it's not. Typically, it's like that. So they changed it up this year.
Was Sevilla? When is Sevilla?
I think so.
Yeah. So it's like the top 4 teams,
basically.
Yeah, and
that's what the NBA is trying to do, right?
Oh, we ain't talked about that in the middle. Like, we might need a culture versus basketball episode on that one.
Let's not derail. Let's not derail.
Too much.
Right, we actually missed the whole Andrew Carlton thing and the youth.
Because it's not important.
The youth. Yeah, no, I think it is, man. We missed the youth.
Carlton.
All right.
Well, it's not about Andrew Carlton. I think it's the bigger picture is that we're not.
We had a
doing
good conversation about
the
that.
youth.
Hold on. Keep on.
All right, let's go. TK, take it away.
I mean, you got much more knowledge on this topic, Tony. But from just my perspective, it's just that the whole pay to play, like it's the rich kids sport in America, and like soccer and football is the poor kids sport in every other country. So like with that being said, there's no we're not picking. There's too much privilege with these kids essentially.
Okay,
they don't want to earn it.
Because we had a really good conversation like when we were texting each other on I think it was Sunday about that, and the thing that kind of gets me, especially because like we talked about this last year, especially with Andrew Carlton specifically, like given his missteps with the home team and getting benched and everything. Like you have a lot of players that have come up over time where it's like their immaturity gets in the way of their actual progress as a player. And like you can go back to Freddie Adu, you can go back to Gideon Zelum. You can like there's plenty of examples. You can even say Jozy. Like it took him a good while to like really kind of get it. And what you have is like you have that privilege, and then when you get busted in the mouth, it's like I don't know what to do here. And like in the case of Carlton, like you're playing it for your hometown team. You're basically a hood star, where it's like you're popular in your neighborhood, but at the same time you're content with that without actually progressing as a player. And go ahead.
Well, the one thing that we talked about is the fact that when you have youth players, there's kind of two stages. There's a pre-puberty stage and a post-puberty stage, and this is like a legit thing within. When you're talking to academy directors and all that, so whatever. If a player is balling out before the age of 15, 16, yeah, it's a good thing. Like you're definitely keeping your tabs on. You're like, oh, this person, like, they might be the next thing. But then once everybody else starts getting into the whole, growing up and their bodies start maxing out and they getting above 6 feet tall and wearing size 15 shoes. You know what I'm saying? Like
14.
Nike, Adidas, especially you, Adidas, more love for people who wear size 15. Continue, Tony.
But no, when you start to see those players catch up to them in size and things start becoming more physical, then it becomes a different game for those players. And so they have to adjust and react, and then that's when you start to see if those players have what it takes mentally to make those adjustments. Because everybody's fast, everybody's strong, everybody is starting to get skills now. And so then you see who really has a character of taking it to the next level. And there's some players who do okay. The majority of those players do okay. Just like every comedian talks about, America's built on C students.
I mean, that's kind of true, but what would you say the age is?
We're a country full of C students.
No,
our president.
That's true.
He's a D. He's a D.
All right, bad example.
Yeah.
But no, I think that
reel it back.
Because what I was getting at during that chat was like most countries that do their thing in soccer, like they're developing players that are ready to go pro at 16, 17, at the max 19 years old, and they're ready to just run through walls. Like they'll cut your throat if you try to take their spot. Whereas here, it's like that same edge isn't there. Like you don't have that iron sharpens iron because everything's far more spread out here.
Well, I think the big thing you're missing on that statement is the fact that they don't have others to compete it with that.
I think they do. Oh, I mean here, yeah. Yeah, you're talking about here.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Here.
What do you mean they don't have others? I don't understand.
It's not steel sharpening steel.
I say everything's so spread out that, you might have one person, you might have that one elite player in Pennsylvania, but the next elite player might not be Texas.
So
he could be there, but
so it's U.S. soccer's fault. I mean, the United States is just too big, man.
Well, yeah, it's like I said in the chat. Like you're talking about 50 states, 50 youth soccer federations.
It's too big. It's too big. That's why AAU and travel soccer is such a thing, because you can't. There's no. It's a good argument.
Oh, we won such and such tournament. Yeah, motherfucker, because you only played 6 teams from 3 states.
Yeah, Riverdale.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
no, I think that's a start though. You got to work within your region.
Yeah,
like,
you do.
You can't be like taking weekday trips to
How?
Kansas.
If soccer is still the 4th sport in youth sports, ranked 4th sport in youth sports overall,
there's got to be a transition.
But the numbers are there. That's the thing. The sheer number of youth soccer participants is definitely
still
there.
Quality coaching.
That's the other thing. That's the other thing.
Still no steal. So okay, we'll start there. Let's all right. So we started at youth. So let's go to high school. High school soccer is a joke. Mm-hmm. There's no steal yet. Mm-hmm. College soccer is a joke. Mm-hmm. No steal yet. So then all of a sudden you get drafted to fucking Atlanta United.
But then they're passing on your pick. So
then they pass the pick, right? And then you have the opportunity to join. Then you have the opportunity to join USL. USL just now got viable. Mm-hmm. So now you get to travel and play some competitive players in USL. So, but majority of the kids still in USL, a lot of them are either over 30s and they just need somewhere to play, or they just barely made it and they're not really that great. Mm-hmm. So where's the still yet? So right there, we've had a whole life of a child growing up and have yet to been tested, unless your parents have money that you could travel around the United States to play.
Or you got a parent that's got European ties and you can get a passport to go overseas.
Yeah, and you cry when you get subbed out in a friendly.
So, you brought up the coaching aspect. Mm-hmm. And I think it's another important factor that's uniquely different with soccer in America compared to every other sport in America. If you're Joe Blow, you can essentially start from scratch and become a professional basketball coach. Essentially, right? You don't have to go through licenses. You don't have to do.
There's basketball licensing
at a later state, right? Like
No.
you can.
There's a whole youth coaching for the U.S. coaching licenses in basketball. There's a regiment modeled off of the soccer regiment, but there's training courses.
So what are they doing right and we're getting wrong? That's the thing.
It's
The culture. There's a culture.
It's the culture.
It's a culture.
You're getting the kids. The talented kids are going to NFL. I mean, they're going to football and basketball. Well, the kids that know how to play sports, the true natural athletes, are going there.
I don't think that it's the true natural athletes. Well, maybe not. I'm sorry. I think that's true. You're right. But what I think is missing is the fact is that those athletes, the poor, those sports are in poor communities. That's what people are picking up.
And they're hungry.
They're hungry.
Yes.
And basketballs, and they're hungry.
Because
you're absolutely right.
This is actually what I was going back towards too, though, because I had this conversation with a coach I interviewed today. So I was going back to Joe Blow. If I want to coach an AAU team, do I have to have a license?
An AAU team?
Yeah.
You do have a
No, you
license.
don't. No, you don't.
Yes, you do.
No, you don't.
Okay.
You don't. Look it up.
All right, I'll look it up.
Google it.
I'll Google it.
So you do not have to have a license, okay? And so the licensing thing and the culture that we have, as far as like everybody wants to like volunteer and be a part of basketball, because that's just a culture. Like basketball is a part of like almost the DNA, especially like within the black community here. Mm-hmm. So talking to the coach today, goes over to London, England. This is where he went maybe 3 miles. 3 miles. On his 3-mile journey of walking, he passed 4 to 5 parks that all had soccer fields, right? That all had like 30 to 60 kids just playing from ages, as young as 8 all the way up to 30-year-olds, playing with them.
Touches.
And that's what I'm saying. Like,
Culture.
they're rich with the culture of soccer. They all want to be involved, whether it's adults being involved, whether it's youth being involved.
Ingrained.
We don't have that, and that goes back to what I was saying as far as like the iron sharpens iron. We don't have that. You have to seek it out, and then we're so spread out that's like, yeah, you gotta have that travel aspect, and that's going to always be a big obstacle and hurdle for us. Not to say that it can't be overcome. I'm not saying it's just we have to get a little bit crafty and creative with it.
But everyone talks about the iron sharpens iron thing. We need black kids playing the game, and that's going to make the game.
I wasn't getting into that.
You're going to make the game better when there's poor black and brown kids.
We just need access. And I think that some of those poor kids...
You got a ball. You got a street. There's the access.
No, you're right.
I think that's a separate argument because...
you have to have it's part of being... sorry to cut you off, Grego. It's part of being hungry and wanting that, and then also having, like, there's tons and tons of examples of Michael Jordans, and for black kids or for brown kids or any other kind of child to look up and see someone that looks like them. However, I disagree that there are a fuck ton of examples of that in the sport of soccer.
In 2020?
You
can pull up your phone. Hey, go talk to any kid. Go talk to any kid. Say, they have YouTube. Every kid walks around with $1,000 computer in their hand. Okay, they have access.
Again, back to the culture. It's not within the culture. So
first of all, not all of them. I would say like a quarter of my kids only have phones.
Okay. Majority of kids have phones or have internet access.
Sure. I mean, even
false misconception.
You can go to the library, and like every entrepreneur who I've ever heard speak says you can go to the library and you can get access if you want to. So I hear you on that point, but I think it's not the culture aspect is really hard to overlook.
It's there. You're right. It's because my son loves playing soccer. Loves playing it.
He loves it now.
But at school, kids play football and basketball. That's it. You put a soccer ball out there, and they're like, "Oh, I'm gonna shoot it in the basketball hoop."
Yep.
So you know what I mean? It's just not a thing that kids think about playing on a daily basis. They think about football and basketball. And then they think about baseball and soccer when they have to sign up and join a league. But when you're out in your neighborhood, go to any neighborhood, you're going to see kids playing. You're going to see basketball hoops. You're going to see kids playing football.
So speaking about, I just checked AAU's website.
Mm-hmm.
It's mandatory that you have to take this coaching course, which is coaching for winning in life lessons,
which is a license, whatever you want to call it. Go ahead. We're listening.
Culture, practices, and games, and developing triple impact competitors. So if you want to call that a license, sure. Okay. So I stand somewhat corrected.
This is what's wrong with soccer. They're elitist.
I said somewhat corrected.
Yeah. But
somewhat.
But going back to Andrew Carlton, you guys' conversations about Andrew Carlton, like he's immature and things like that.
I never said that.
But that's the narrative.
I do think he needs to grow up.
Listen,
what's the magic age then?
To be
for the youth, and what's the transition age?
So
I don't think it's an age. It's exposure to being a professional.
That's actually what I'm saying.
Thing is, he never got like Andrew Carlton never went to college. He didn't go to college.
Okay.
He came out of high school, straight out of high school, and played on Atlanta United.
And he played on some very privileged teams.
Right. So he went straight from a kid in high school to playing for one of the best teams in MLS. Right? And the thing was, he wasn't asked upon to say, hey, you're given this spot. He was just told, you're on the team. So that was good enough for him. So it was never like, hey, you're about to lose your contract. Because MLS takes this homegrown thing really seriously. We want people to say, oh, he's one of your own. He's a homegrown. But his contract has never been threatened. So him leaving Atlanta United and going to Indiana, where he's going to be competing against other kids that are around his age, are like, yo, I'm trying to get a chance. Yep. So that's either going to make or break Andrew Carlson.
So can I infer from that statement?
No, you can't.
Can I infer from that statement that homegrown contracts handicap those players?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I honestly, yes. If I can be in a boardroom MLS, every homegrown player should automatically play for the second team and have to work their way to the first team.
I mean, so it's I think most of them do that anyway, but I think most of them do that anyway.
They get there, but the thing is, they sign a homegrown contract to the first team.
Mm-hmm.
Their homegrown contract should go to the club overall, and they should work their way through the system. And they should teach these homegrown players, hey, I'm training you and grooming you to be a franchise player. So I want you to be the face of the club. So they're going to they're going to take them to classes and learn how to speak. They're going to give them language classes. They're going to give them business classes. They're going to groom them and have them sit with the captain of the first team and learn how to be a captain of the second team. They captain the second team, prove they can do what they can do, and if they can prove what they can do, they move to the first team. They move to the first team, a professional, because they led all these young men on the second team for however many years it ever takes them to be ready for the first team.
But of course, that's another thing right there is that more than likely you have a finite time as far as how long you really have before your
usefulness is up.
Yeah, and before they decide, okay, he's not going to be what we thought he's going to be, because that's happened with a lot of guys, and I think that.
But it's systems. That's the thing too.
But
about soccer, you have to fit.
But of course, to your point, as far as like the whole schooling part. But no, they're
just afraid of black people in Italy.
Going back to what you said earlier, Carlton signed his contract right before he turned 16, and so he's basically had almost 4 years now as a professional, to learn how to be a professional,
right?
And at this point, it's like, okay, you're basically at the point now where
that sucks.
What?
Think about what you just said.
16
to 20
to
learn as a professional,
how to be an adult.
Yeah. So 22 when I came out undergrad to 26, to learn to be a professional.
Yeah.
I still didn't understand.
And that was another problem with this sport.
And that's
I'm just saying, just think about what you just said.
But
so maybe we shouldn't sign players that young.
And that's what I was about to get at. If you don't,
maybe we put them on a long-term plan, like you just described.
Yeah, because granted, the academy, at least our academy, isn't what it is now. But at the same time, I think that he probably would have been better off hanging into the academy for like another year or two before he really signed on as a pro. Because when you're signed on to be a professional, you're signed on to be a professional. If you're not ready for that, then you need to hang back and figure out what
My
you do.
colleague, Coach Tony, always says this. PT is what matters. If you're not getting PT, you need to go somewhere else where you're going to get PT. So Andrew Carlton, he should have said after year 2, when he saw he wasn't touching that field, he said, can I go ahead and get a loan or can I go play somewhere else? I feel like I need to play.
I said that last year.
What coaches...
And I said that loan that he had in Charleston?
The loan with Charleston,
was the first year.
It was up until the start of the season, so it was a couple weeks.
Yeah, it was like that was 2016, so that was like to the end of last season, to the end of that season.
Yeah, 3 appearances.
And but yeah, like
go on loan.
If you're not ready to be a professional, then you need to figure out what you need to get ready.
So what's the difference between Carlton and Bello?
I think that
everyone keeps saying Bello's ready.
Yeah,
but he hasn't had PT.
Well, part of that was just him being injured. When he first got promoted, he actually got some time.
What was that? Was it that Champions League game? His first game last season, and we were like, ooh.
Well, yeah,
he looked nuts.
He got thrown in the deep end on that one, but
we were like, oh shit,
he got thrown in the deep end there. But like, of course, you go back to the year before
it was Champions League, right?
Yeah, the year before when he had his couple opportunities and he stepped up. He's like, you have to know, like, okay, are you ready for this? Are you ready for that? And I think that MLS was like, he was ready for MLS. I don't think he was ready for Champions League.
What's your boy? What's your guys' boy at Manchester United? Young boy,
Mason.
Mm-hmm.
Was he 17, 18? Playing in one of the best clubs in the world.
But that's what I was actually going to bring it back. We were getting back to saying what's wrong with our quote unquote wonder kids compared to the rest of the world's wonder kids.
Well, I think we alluded to it. Not to beat it up, is the iron. The other world's
so you
iron.
agree with that?
No, I wasn't negating that.
Oh, okay.
No, I was saying I was saying there is no iron. From you're like the best kid on your rec team, and you get on the travel team, and you're the best kid.
Georgia.
Yeah, and you're the best kid. You're the best kid in high school. You get a full ride scholarship to Virginia University.
But that goes back to what I was saying earlier, because like what I said a second ago is that when Carlton got signed, our academy wasn't where it was even just a year or two later.
No,
and I think that, like you said with Bello, by the time he signed on, we'd had our academy for a couple years.
Bello signed his first team contract the first season, and we only had the academy for a couple months.
But he didn't debut.
He was 16, right?
He didn't debut for like another year.
Him and Kunka signed on the same day.
Yeah.
He didn't.
When they debuted at Baghdad.
Was that Bello or Goslin?
Goslin was there too.
No, Goslin, he didn't sign on that day, but Goslin signed.
He was there that day.
Okay,
yeah.
Gotcha. But yeah, Bello still, he was still in the incubator for another year before he even got a shot to play. And I think that
So
I see what you did.
So I guess at the end of the day, man, it's just American soccer players are shit.
I wouldn't go that far, but like I said, I state that with the way that things are set up,
got one in Chelsea.
You have to. The way things are set up, we are far too inefficient with how we do things.
So
far too inefficient.
But you know what? You know what, Greg?
What's up?
You know who I think can change things?
Brian McBride.
Exactly.
New GM. We you know what? I actually like that move. Because if you ever watch him on ESPN FC, like he cuts through the bullshit real good. And I think, especially given how things have been looking for the national team as of late, you need, like how I talked about earlier, like you need that voice of dissent to say, hey, you need to get on your shit.
I think you guys talked about it a few weeks ago about there are none of the former U.S. faces in leadership there.
Yeah.
So I think it's a good look. And I think getting Kyle Martino, too, over there, it just take him from NBCSC and get him over there in a position of leadership. Because, that bullshit. You can get these guys in there and it says, like, all right, you Georgia soccer, Colorado soccer, enough's enough. Let's clean this shit up. Let's and things like that. You kind of need some people in there to just come in there, like start shaking some fucking boxes and see where all the money and where's this money going to.
Yeah, I think the interesting thing with him is that the interesting thing that I read from from the press release there was that he's going to have a more direct hand as far as like the buffer with clubs, because apparently Berhalter has already kind of rubbed people the wrong way, of course, including us here in Atlanta with what happened with Miles Robinson. Like you need. I think he's going to be more valuable than people realize going forward, and like I said, I already think Berhalter's on borrowed time anyway, but I think that this here will hold him at least slightly more accountable, because I think that he's been through it. He's been through the ringer as far as seeing where our program is, and if it's not meeting a certain standard, then like I said, I think Berhalter's got to the summer to really turn things around.
I just want to see Brian coach fucking strikers and just like. That's what I want. I just want him to walk out on the training pitch and be like, "Yo, this is how you effing score.
This is how you score.
Like,
this is how you finish."
Because I've said this since almost damn near recording episode 1. Our issue with the U.S. is that we don't have.
Yeah, we can't finish.
We don't have strikers. We don't have prolific strikers. We don't.
That's one thing we haven't been developing.
We don't have that. And Brian McBride, he was. I'm not saying that he was world class.
He was better,
but he
average.
Was good.
Yeah,
he was good. He wasn't world class.
We got J-Mo, man. J-Mo's back.
Jomo.
Hey, but Brian, we'll see. We'll see what he does.
Yeah, but let's we got 2 up, 2 down. What we got here, man?
You leading the way, man.
Oh.
You Captain America over here.
You funny.
Forget Sergio Aguero.
Oh yeah.
Bruce.
Congrats to Sergio Kun Aguero breaking records, most hat tricks in a season or something like that. Was it 12? Is it 12 hat tricks?
Yeah, something like that. I think
Something
12.
12. Like it's amazing. Like although he's on the other side of Manchester, like you got to get
It's all
props.
one Manchester.
Stop. It's not one Manchester. The only time they were one Manchester after that tragedy, but I think that what he's doing, Sergio, it's amazing. You gotta give props when it's due, and so I'm giving props. Yay!
The first 2 up is the WNBA getting their new CBA deal.
Really gonna steal mine?
That was mine, man.
What? He was in the middle of his.
Yeah, he was 2 ups, 2 downs.
Oh, that was yours?
No, it was.
My bad. My bad, Bobby. My bad, Bobby.
Peace up. 8 down, 2 up, 2 down, man.
Y'all, man, I'm Ralph Tresvant in this piece, man. I'm about to go get my single going real quick. I got a single.
All right, Flash.
I'm going to Baltimore record. And I got a track coming out next week, y'all.
Yeah.
Ralph Tresvant.
And you owe me a cookie.
And you owe me a cookie.
I didn't eat that one.
Great American
what you got, man?
Some milk and cookies.
Honestly, I don't know about my up, but my down was what I wrote down. Man, shout out to the Hooligans. Yeah, shout out Hooligans, man. They got their trailer stolen, I guess, over the weekend or recently.
Yeah, that
in the
was
last
wild.
couple weeks. Not weeks, but a couple days. But it was like $18,000 estimated of gear and banners and flags and all that. So
Word on the street.
yeah, man, you guys.
It was Memphis 901.
I was gonna say, I think it's that other supporters group.
I ain't snitching, no.
Hey, man. There's rules to the street, man.
But
We want to shout them out. That's definitely a huge down. Get on the socials. Check out their running like a GoFundMe or something like that. You could donate $5, $10, whatever. Bucks.
Yeah, there's PayPal. If you go to paypal.me/the Chattahooligans, we'll post it on our socials after we post the episode and everything. You can do that, or you can reach out to Shelly Ayers at ShellyNAyers@gmail.com. Like I said, $5, $10, whatever you can. Like I said, you're talking about 5 years of work, banners, equipment, paraphernalia. Was all within that trailer. So
I might donate my broken stick. It's still good for about 15 feet.
Yeah. So
she said.
You know what?
You don't want none of this 15 foot. Back on though.
Don't shake the tifo. But yeah. Shout out to Dell. Of course, we had a chance to. Well, we've had a couple of different meetups with them over the years. Both with the home team and also just with us with FTC. So yeah, shout out to them. What you got, Rico?
I have it just depends on what side of the fence you're on when it comes to this, but Jurgen Klinsmann, he doesn't have the adequate coaching licenses to coach in the Bundesliga. So Jurgen was on
licenses. That
Jurgen,
comes up again.
Jurgen was
pro level.
He was on.
Isn't he the national coach?
Yeah, he was. So what? Jurgen is the equivalent of the guy that lies on a resume.
Wow.
So Jurgen coached the national
Tell me what's
team,
wrong
and
here.
he didn't have adequate licensing. So it depends on how you feel about Jurgen Klinsmann. He was just on the news last week talking about if he was still the coach, he would have got the U.S. national team to the quarterfinals. And this dude... Semifinals. And he don't even hold the right licenses. So that's like an up into that.
How does that even...
Bro, that's the Snoop Dogg meme is all I got to say.
That's hilarious. And I got another... I have another up and down. It's just great to see football players get caught up like football players we have in the United States, man. Lacazette got caught out here cheating on his girlfriend, and he was cheating to the extent that the side chick was like, I never knew he had a girl. We were going on vacations together, we were spotted everywhere together. He had a whole other girlfriend, and it's crazy. I'm like, man, these footballers, they don't really get exposed like that,
especially
man.
in the days of the internet. How does that even happen?
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. So. That's my up and down.
That's kind of wild when you think about it.
Yeah, bad on her for not, just looking, but even worse on him for.
Yeah.
That's a compound fracture of lies right there, man.
Yeah, it was impressive.
Impressive.
It was impressive.
Now for part two of Tony's 2 Up, 2 Down.
I gotta say the down. It's like an in between down. Is that we only got one more black quarterback left.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
My homeboys left, but
my homie.
all I gotta say is
the guys,
right now,
the other guys are still playing. You just talking about the playoffs?
talking about quarterbacks, mother.
You thought it was gonna be a black on black in Super Bowl?
Yes, that's what I wanted.
What do you think this is? This is America.
This is all scripted.
But let me tell you,
show's over, folks.
let me tell you though, what
Must have been to the Midwest.
what I definitely is an up for me is I just want to make sure that those black quarterbacks that did lose, I want to make sure they get their chicken. They take care of their mentals. They take care of their bodies. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
You gotta take care of your mentals and your chicken.
All right, Tony Lynch, got you.
We're at the beast mode.
All right, Tony Lynch. Everybody, listeners, you make sure you get your chickens right. Man.
Make sure you take care of your mentals and your chicken. All right, that's all I say. That's my up.
Your bread, your chicken, get a little cheese, get a little dough.
Popeyes would take sponsorship.
I can't wait till we get the first American MLS player to have a Marshawn Lynch monologue. That's the day.
I cannot wait.
With MLS.
Can we get them on the show?
The sooner we get Mario Balotelli in MLS, the better.
Absolutely.
That's the guy who's going to change the game. He's going to write the script and be like, oh, I get it. This is what we're supposed to do.
Mario.
Could you imagine Mario in Oakland?
Could you
But
imagine?
not Oakland now, but Oakland 10 years ago.
Shit, Oakland now?
Wow, he got shot
Oakland
straight
pretty
up.
dope.
Oakland's different.
Nah,
Oakland's different.
juice bars everywhere, man. Fun fact.
Birkenstocks have made it way over.
Shouts out to Oakland roots, though.
But
What about Boosie? You see him in Oakland?
see, there you go.
It's the wrong colors.
We want to end with Boosie?
Oh,
Yes,
no, we
absolutely
didn't.
Boosie.
Trust me.
Yo, baby.
That was my up and down because it's funny to me how Kappas have been banking off Wipe Me Down for 10 whole years.
10 years.
And then he rocks the colors and it's like, hold up, player.
No.
You didn't cross some sands, bro.
He didn't just rock the colors.
Nah, he
had letters too.
He had probate.
He had the probate joint.
He had the probate long
He
sleeve
had
shirt.
just crossed.
Yeah.
It's coming out.
Yeah.
Everything,
Oh,
man.
God.
I don't care, man. Boosie knew what he was doing.
Oh, hell yeah, he knew what he was
Talking about, I ain't know. I just
doing.
like the
He knew what he
colors.
was doing.
Like I said,
He's trying to
you know how
learn.
many royalties he's earned off of Kappas playing Wipe Me Down?
Kappas play his shit on repeat.
Yeah.
at every
As
step
they get
show.
out the shower every
Every step show, every time they jump out the shower, every time they go on a date.
Now that they stream it on Spotify, man.
Shouts out to
0.009%.
Shouts out
per
to
song.
the Kappas, the Sigmas, the Deltas, the AKAs.
Happy Founders Day
Happy
to the
Founders Days to y'all. I know
Damn.
some of y'all
The
listen.
Deltas, yeah.
And Mike, shit
Well,
on you, right? You didn't say
well,
Alpha.
the
in that.
Alpha's Founders Day is in December.
No, I'm just
December.
saying this, man.
December.
You just didn't mention you in the house.
Yeah,
about
man.
Alpha.
It's
I
December
know this
4th,
as well,
man.
man.
1906, man.
Oh,
No, that's when Pearl Harbor happened. December, just
to know your history, man.
Yeah.
But all right, man.
Three
But yes.
superlative facts.
I got merch, man. I see you with the hoodie.
Yeah, man. Yeah, got
You know,
this,
Greg Boogie with the hoodie.
Yeah, man. Edgar Davis, that Legends of the Culture hoodie. You know,
Tell me where they find that at.
your Drogba hoodie's been getting a whole lot of love, man.
Yeah, it ain't my Drogba hoodie, but you know, I put on focus.
Joanna.
But yes, check out the Legend of the Culture hoodies at ftcutd.myshopify.com. If you haven't already, you know, we got a lot of we came up with a new name set for 2020 that MLS is biting off of.
One right now. I'm about to buy the Ever one right now.
You might have to.
Yo,
Right
folks,
now. I'm going live right
we're
now.
still
I'm doing
waiting
it right
on
now.
some submissions as well for the Drink in My Cup sweepstakes that we're holding. And don't forget, we just started another one tonight. Ringo is going to buy anything in the store. If you guys can, what's that you said you're going to do?
If you have a physical copy
A
of Goal
physical
3,
copy of, yes, that's it, of Goal 3. If you own a copy, get that photo up to us, tag us FTC,
I gotta put it back on there.
UTD.
I still ain't got my cup, man.
You should get Sterling.
Also, bonus
say
points
that.
if anyone wants to hum the Scotiabank anthem or the MLS. Yeah, we'll definitely fuck with that for sure.
Rashad got the Howard one.
Damn, man, you took the Ever off?
I will get it back on there.
Oh, damn, homie.
All right, man. We
No, you got tired of that
Yes.
Italy shit.
Yes. While Coach is trying to buy his hoodie, yeah, make sure you check out the online store.
You put 2 Etos on here.
No,
Wow,
that's
Eto
a
Spice.
screenshot. That's just a screenshot. Hang on.
Eto on Spice. Sorry,
on.
Coach. I'm
Folks,
mad.
we got
'cause
some.
my boy.
We also got
But
some
it is that
stickers
total.
coming to you
It is
guys.
that total.
It is.
Stickers coming?
Yeah, man, we got a couple things planned for you in the upcoming. I would say we're gonna try and knock this out here in the next month. That way we can kind of
Yeah, a lot of things coming ahead before the start of the MLS season. So they say jerseys, name sets, hoodies. Well, it might be too hot for the
Yo,
hoodie. but you're still
I
getting
forgot
it.
one thing on the 2-up.
What's up?
For one of my ups, you know, this week, told y'all Culture, going to United Soccer Coaches Convention this week, and want to give major shout outs to Nicole Hercules, she's been a listener, she's been a fan of ours, she's been on the show. If you listen to one of our past episodes, she's now taken over as, you know, president of the Black Soccer Coaches advocacy group.
You might have something in the mail because I couldn't get it before.
So
Before
shout out to Nicole
Coach
Hercules. She's wrapping up in Rochester, New York.
We love you, Nicole.
Yeah.
Did we get it in the mail?
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's in the mail, Nicole. We got something in the mail for you.
So
Yeah.
Nicole, congrats. See you in Baltimore. And yeah.
Yeah, he
But
might
yes.
beat you there. He might beat the package.
But
My
yes,
cup's been in the mail for a few weeks now.
it has. It
That
has.
drink cup, yeah.
We told y'all we a black owned business.
It's on CP. It's not. It's not. It's on the way.
You thought USPS was actually the slowest, but it's secretly FedEx.
But
Just has
yes,
to change hands 8
We a
times.
black owned business. You
Y'all
get
are
black
funny.
owned service. I'm just saying.
We're on our way into the Triple B, though.
You black network.
y'all can catch us on the socials, man.
You know what? I'm gonna get the Tim Howard one.
Yes.
Hey, where can they catch us on the socials?
I'm
at?
getting the Tim Howard one.
at FTC
UTD.
Catch us on Twitter, catch us on Facebook, catch us on Instagram. I haven't figured out TikTok yet, but you know, soon enough.
Greg will be dancing on TikTok for y'all, man. Y'all subscribe, man. Greg will dance. Every new subscriber we get, Greg gonna do a TikTok dance.
Ooh, I
There's
like
a
it,
TikTok
I like
dance. Yes, and if video is your thing, we do have a YouTube channel. You can catch us on there as well. We're
Check out the
loading up
Instagram
all
stories.
Yes, the
Got
IG
some behind the
stories.
scenes coming from the
Can I do a
pod
shout
tonight.
out?
What's up?
Can I do a shout out?
What's up?
Shouts
Nah,
out,
man, fuck your shout out.
Shouts out to the girls that do the High Key podcast. I saw the IG live the other day. Well, we can get out this. I'll show y'all later. Man.
But yeah,
Sloppy, bro.
I know, man.
Yo, we're videotaping this pod too.
But yes,
I didn't say anything bad. I just said they have an interesting podcast.
man.
It's what you did.
But yes, check out the YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you give us a 5-star rating on any of your favorite podcast apps. Google Podcasts, iTunes, Spotify. I said that. Oh yeah.
Drop a message on Anchor, folks. We want to hear from you. Give us your shout outs, give us your feelings, give us your questions, anything along the lines of that. We definitely want to hear back from you, get as much feedback as possible. If you have topics that you want to hear, that you're interested in, or that you feel that you'd like to hear us either, maybe dive a little bit further into, because we could talk about youth soccer forever, fucking the U.S.
Yeah, we went for a while now.
But yeah, anything along the lines of that, if there's anything you guys have that you want to hear more of, maybe more EPL, or maybe you want to hear about the Scottish League. We don't really talk about Scotland.
We need to do some more Bundesliga.
Maybe Jamaica. Maybe we talk about Jamaica League. We got a Jamaican opponent in the Champions League.
Sing a song.
Dude, I never claimed to know it. I never claimed to know it.
My seat.
Man, never turns it down.
Before Rico goes into full concert, I say make sure you catch us online. Like I said, we always love chatting with y'all. For Coach, for Ringo, for TK, for Vera, for everybody here at the Culture. The mayor is out in the streets, man. Like,
damn.
Did he ever leave Florida?
You know what? It's okay because he started buying Tampa Bay rowdy stuff. You know what I'm
it's
saying?
just like slowly moving north. He was in Miami for it seemed like 2 weeks.
But yeah, we will catch y'all soon. Catch us on the socials, and then we are out.
Culture here, the culture everywhere.